So that's been a big piece. But really the way we complement each other is like, he'll be the first one to tell you, he's terrible at a computer, like terrible. So anything that's like putting a deck together or, you know, proposal, things like that, that lives in my world. We'll collaborate to put everything together, but like the tech stuff, that tends to be me. In terms of like really that sales pitch, there's no better salesperson than him. He's really that good at it. I'm constantly amazed by the things that come across the table that he works on.
That's so great. Now, you already mentioned that you worked with the Hard Rock in Las Vegas back in September,
Yep.
Back in 2017. What were some of the events that you kind of put together that you've learned the most from?
Oh, man. Let's see. I put together a bunch of events with Diddy, and, you know, he's probably one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life because people throw around the word mogul a lot. That dude is truly a mogul because he's figured it out. He is able to be a musician, a business person, a brand, all in one. So that he was always great to work with, and it always ended up being something that touched multiple businesses for him. He would perform a concert, but you'd also have to make sure that Ciroc was the lead vodka for the day. So it was like an opportunity for him to promote a brand, but also be a performer, which really hits 2 points for him. Kevin Hart was a lot of the same way. I was a big part of throwing Kevin Hart's birthday party back in 2017, which was a book signing and then 2 club events with him. And again, someone that in a very short amount of time I learned quite a bit from because he's another person who's very much in that same camp of do the work now, reap the rewards later. And those two were just extremely hardworking people. You know, I witnessed the rise, like the true rise of Machine Gun Kelly to where he is now. Cause I booked a bunch of shows with him out there. And that's a guy who's he's only scratched the surface of where he's going to go to. I think he could be one of the biggest stars of all time in the world of music. He's got a unique look. He can act. He can sing. He can play instruments. He can rap. He can do everything. And he's built a really interesting brand about himself. So those 3 were really the ones that like I definitely had the most fun with or I learned the most from. You know, a lot of my jobs sounded like it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. And there was always something to be, you know, learned from every single event. And that job, more than any other job, shaped me for what I'm doing now.
That's so awesome. And I've heard that about Kevin Hart, and you could just see it. That dude is everywhere at all times. Like, he's got so many different businesses. Even during the pandemic, he came up with that game show where people just stay in their homes and they just do stuff around them. And, like, you just see everything, every little thing he's doing if you're actually paying attention. And he's everywhere doing everything, always collecting that money. There is no short end of revenue coming in for him.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. It's not going to end anytime soon because he's got production deals. He's got, you know, things he's writing. He's still doing comedy. Like, I don't even know where he workshops his comedy to be able to go on tour because I don't know where he has the time to do so and get into the clubs and, you know, work 10 minutes out at a time. It's so impressive to me.
And he sells out football stadiums. Like, that's insane. What other comedian? I mean, I would say a Dave Chappelle could probably do it. You could argue Joe Rogan could probably do it. Bert Kreischer, but they're like, Kevin Hart is just on this other level of. I mean, I imagine he's got the same amount of energy as Mojo because to be able to do all the things that you're doing, you've got to have a ton of energy.
Well, I think he calls it comedic rock star shit. And it's true. It's true. And he also, like, he's still a humble guy. No, admittedly, I haven't seen Kevin since 2021. I think I saw him last at the Super Bowl event. But I know he probably has not changed at all in that sense. He was always shook everybody's hand, cracked a joke, everything. I was still living in Vegas, and my family wanted to go see him in Atlantic City. His team took incredible care of my family, brought them back to meet Kevin. Didn't need to do that, but that was just the kind of people that he has around him, as well as who he is.
Yeah, building that good, strong team around you that not only keeps you humble, you keep them humble, they keep working for the same cause, which is moving forward. Obviously the trust level is next level as well. But if you don't have a good team around you, it's just not going to work.
Yep, I completely agree. And that's what we try to be for people, is that best possible team for them. And we tell everybody that they, at the very least, everybody should have someone in their life that they can bounce ideas off of and truly trust with business-related things. Whether it's a manager, an agent, your best friend, it doesn't need to be someone but as long as you have someone that you're like bouncing things off of, you're only going to grow as a person, an entertainer, a business person, all of those things. Nobody gets to the top by themselves.
Very true. Yeah, and you can't just keep throwing the ideas around in your head and not letting them out, because otherwise, when are they going to happen? Yeah,
real world feedback is important.
Yeah.
So many of the things I do in my life, I'm in my 30s, I still run by my parents because they know me, I trust them, and they're people whose values I, appreciate whose opinions I value and appreciate. And that's never going to change. I also have a number of friends between Las Vegas, college, other jobs I've had that I still go to, like, hey, is this a good idea? Should I be doing this? Just to get their real feedback. And to have some people around you that'll be honest with you is the most important thing.
Yeah, because they can blow smoke up your ass all you want, but it will not work at the end of the day.
No, yes men only get you so far.
Yeah, it's very true. Now, when it comes to like brand partnerships for your clients, what are some that have happened that you would not have expected?
One of the first deals we did was with Pepsi for an NFL kickoff campaign. I couldn't believe that like the fifth deal of this company was Pepsi. I'm still shocked by just talking about it. That was something that's always stuck out to me. We've done deals with, the Walt Disney Company and various subsidiaries of it. One of the ones that I always got a kick out of was Lena Fanini, the former Nia Jax, who, by the way, one of the sweetest people on the planet. Can't say enough good things about her. We got her a brand deal for a Lifetime Christmas movie.
Whoa.
That was, to me, the funniest thing, because I grew up in a house where my mom was always watching these Lifetime and Hallmark Christmas movies. And now I'm doing business where the people we work with are getting the opportunity to promote these kinds of movies. So that one I always got a kick out of. But we've done things with companies that are in the medical device space like M-Sculpt. We've done things with, other countries. We've done things with cell phone companies. We've touched so many categories in such a short amount of time. I think that every single deal we do, I'm extremely appreciative of. And I know Mojo would say the same thing, because there are so many different, people they could work with. But to choose to work with us and with wrestlers and by proxy, it's them taking a shot at a new category. And we're just happy anytime someone's willing to give a chance to any talent in the wrestling space, whether they work with us or not.
True. Yeah, because there's so many. I mean, pro wrestling, I think at the truest sense, is a giant buffet, especially when it comes to characters or people, or obviously sizes, shapes. Like, and when it comes to what people want for their brand, or let's say a TV show, movie, whatever, you could find anything you're looking for inside the pro wrestling world if you're actually looking, or if you have someone that's helping you look, say, hey, look over here, this person fits this mold, this mold, this mold, and then this person fits this one, this one, this one. So the fact that people still kind of had this weird connotation of like, oh, they're pro wrestlers, whatever. Like, no, they're one-take actors for the most part, but they're also incredible athletes. So whatever role you think they can't fit, they can, because they've kind of done it all already.
I think that you're A, absolutely correct, and B, if there's one place if in 50 years Paragon is long gone, and we are in some part helpful or instrumental in breaking the stigma of, oh, they're just wrestlers, and we will have done our job, because wrestlers are the most incredible entertainers, athletes, creators. You can put them on any pedestal of media against anybody, and I would argue that they're going to check more boxes than pretty much any other quote unquote like media type.
Yeah. Like Leonardo DiCaprio's not fitting all the roles that a lot of pro wrestlers can, but he's been doing what he's been doing forever, and he's Leo, but whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I think that there are actors that would translate very well into wrestling. I think that there's wrestlers that would translate very well into acting, but I think that a actor translating into wrestling is pretty much a unicorn. You're not going to find a lot of them. Whereas I think any wrestler could move into a different form of entertainment or move into a different sport and have some modicum of success.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought Dave Bautista would have had the success in Hollywood that he's had? Like, he had, you know, when he first got over there, he had the first couple roles that were like, all right, that's a regular, you know, wrestler in Hollywood role. But what he's done since then and, like, really got into the acting, and it's not just about him being a gigantic guy. He is a fantastic actor as well.
I mean, look, I got a soft spot for Marvel movies, but
too.
I watched Knock in the Cabin a few months ago with my girlfriend, and I could not believe the acting tour de force that man put on. But I'm not surprised, because just like anything else, he's dedicated to his craft, and you can't half-ass wrestling. And I think anybody who's been in the space would tell you that wrestling prepares you for pretty much anything else better than anything else, because you're never going to half-ass another thing in life, because the thing that you were most known for, you couldn't half-ass.
Mm-hmm. Now, we talked about how there's this stigma when it comes to brands for pro wrestlers. When you were with WWE as a talent brand manager, what hurdles did you kind of face when it came to pitching pro wrestling or WWE in general to different brands?
Don't know. Wasn't there long enough.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm very grateful for my time at WWE, but I will tell you that they have an incredible group working on that stuff now, and perhaps someone in that space would be able to tell you, you know, a little bit better than I could.
There we go. Okay. Well, with your list of talent at Paragon, it's absolutely incredible. Do y'all kind of reach out to them? Do they reach out to you? Is it kind of a mutual thing? How does that work?
You know, it started with it being contacts that, you know, we're especially close with Mojo. And then it kind of extended from there. There are some that reach out to us. There are some that we've, you know, worked, gone out of our way to try to work with. And it's just kind of ballooned. So we've got quite a number of people that we work with, and they've come to us or we've come to them in so many different ways. But for the most part, it's very much, you know, it's a very small industry in terms of who knows who. So we tell everybody, like, if a brand wants a very specific person that we might not represent, we can probably get to them and at least get an offer in front of them.
There we go.
But
now,
like we've never gone out of our way to, like, you know, stalk out like backstage and show like, hey, you should work with us or anything like that. It's always been a much more casual approach to everything.
That's good too, because you're not coming off as pushy